That's it.
All right. Well, hello, Trevor. Welcome to BB Disney Aftershow.
Well, thank you. Sooner than I'd hoped, but it's
Yeah,
excited to be here.
I know. I totally get the feeling myself. As a former BB Disney player myself, I was last season. It was like, oh, Aftershow, it's fun, but oh man, I got
Yeah.
you. But so like I said, it's going to be, this is your time. You get to share your side. I do have a first question that I always like to start with. Here at BB Disney, what was your favorite part of your BB Disney experience?
That's a really good question. Because this season was just more stressful than any game I played, just because of the way I played, which was fun. Um, I think. Hmm. I was gonna say Live Night, but that was probably the worst night. Um, I think just like everyone coming in and seeing how like who was playing and starting those conversations again because um I had taken a break from org, so it was nice like getting back into the group and everything. And I was like, oh, Crispy's here, and oh, I get to meet Grace, and oh, Andrew Denson's here for the third of my five orgs I've played in. Andrew Denson's here, which is always a fantastic sight to see. Um, and then I think just like watching the intro video for everyone and meeting everyone. That's always why I play these games. So.
Very cool. Very cool. Um, so yeah, so why do you think you're here with me and not still there?
So I feel like when I was nominated week one, I was like, oh, Trevor's not gonna win this season. That's not happen because I'm definitely a player where I want to stay out of the spotlight as long as possible because I do get clocked for my social game somewhat early, like in like post merge, post jury era. So being nominated first, I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be balls to the wall game. And I was like, all right, I never did play this kind of game before, but we're gonna do it. Um, so I think the comps, which is like, and I keep telling Isha, like, I cannot believe like I was targeted for comp wins because I am not a comp wins person by any stretch of imagination. So it was so much fun. I guess that was probably my best moment of just like the fact that I was just winning competitions, and I usually will throw or just not try or not want to win. And this time I was just like, F it, I'm just gonna try to win comps just because I can. Um, so it was good. It was a good confidence booster that I can win comps if I choose to. But I think that I would like to believe that that was the main reason. I don't want to believe that you know things were said about a pregame alliance, and we that's why people were voted out. But for the four people voted out onto the jury are four people in this supposed pregame alliance. So that is that.
So
I can get into
so
more
you're
detail.
alluding to allegedly there was a
Yeah.
pre-made.
So right before I was voted out, Robert told me Evan has been going around saying Trevor, Grace, Crispy, and Adam have a pregame alliance because they're all best friends. And I said, well, that's interesting considering I didn't know Adam existed before this game, and I only had known Grace was on CTC and ran Distortion. I'd never met her. Which I found that very Adam and the four of us have said like, yeah, I didn't know Crispy existed, or I didn't know Adam existed, or I didn't know Trevor. Like, so it was kind of nonsense. Like if you wanted to say like, oh, Adam and Grace are best friends, okay, they're actually friends. If you want to say, oh, like Crispy, Rose, and Andrew knew each other before, oh, Trevor and Crispy know each other before, like okay, that's fine. But the idea that there is a pregame alliance on a Big Brother game where I didn't know anyone that was applying for this season, uh, beforehand, and I literally, like I said, I only knew Andrew, Crispy, and I knew who Grace was as a person. I knew no one else. So, um, yeah, I'm scared that that's the main reason, which would really really suck because that just like the comps are in my control. That was the type of game I wanted to play, but the other one it's out of my control. The stuff like I couldn't change people's minds because I didn't know it was a thing until afterward.
Gotcha. And as you were going to the jury, and you were like, senior other jury members, were you learning things there and like, huh, like I missed that, or new perspectives, or
Honestly, I don't think so because I think like the people I'm with, one, I'm kind of I'm on the same like side as them. So far, for the most part, I think because like my ideal was me and Grace the whole time was me and Grace, and then like me and Crispy as long as I can. I like I want to be with those are my people, um, and like I started talking to Adam and Angela more. I'm assuming Rose is gonna join the soon, or Andrew, whichever one is gonna join soon.
I
Um,
will I will say one
oh,
one of them.
I just saw that Andrew
Yep.
was added. Okay.
I couldn't say that. I was like, I knew you'd see in
No,
a
yeah.
second.
So, I'm actually interested in what Andrew does have to say, because I think his perspective is going to be big. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate because we're kind of all echoing each other, in that like Molly doesn't have a social game, Robert Torrey doesn't have a social game, Evan, everyone feels like they're being lied to by Evan, and like as soon as week one happened, I was like, Evan is very good on call, and he can basically convince anyone that he's on his side, which is very very good, um, gameplay. Like, and props to him. Um, and we'll probably get into it more, but it's just my overall feelings on those three are just a little suspect because of how I was voted out. And everyone's kind of been saying the same thing, that they kind of felt ghosted and people just were shutting them down when they were nominated and going home. Um, so yeah.
Okay. So now we are down to 5 in the game. So finale night is quickly approaching. Um, what do you think you're going to be looking for? Maybe in your line of questions, or the things that you're like, I don't know. Like, I guess what are like your thoughts, like leading. I don't know if I'm asking this correctly, but like,
No, yeah.
you probably have like, you're like, oh, I want to see the winner, like this, like.
Hmm. So the issue is, so what from my perspective right now, I think Evan, Robert Torre, and Molly are running the game, and I think they've been running the game for a while because they've just been winning these HOHs. And then when someone else won HOH, they were able to not go home. Um, because Grace and I were just targeted week by week, every single week. And now that we're gone, they're kind of running the game at this point. Those three would have majority should they be working together. Um, so first of all, if Rose does make it to the end, I think she has a great underdog story. So I think she would probably win Yunnan, honestly, from what I've been hearing. Um, the other, okay, and Ingrid, I think weird case because it sounds like Ingrid was only close with me. I was scared at certain points that Ingrid was close to other people, but it does sound like Ingrid and I, like, we were good the whole time. So people are kind of lumping Ingrid with those three, but I personally don't because I did have a good social relationship with her and a good game relationship with her. Um, Obviously aside from the whole veto fiasco, but yeah, which was, I should have thrown, but I was like, F it, I'm just gonna win and see what happens. But I really should have thrown. Um, I was just like, if I am the target in this week and I throw veto, I'm looking an idiot. But whatever. Um, so yeah, that's my opinion. It's like if Ingrid is able to make it to the end, I would need her to explain how she got there. Like if it is, like even if it is like, oh, I didn't make these, other people made moves for me, I didn't have to do that, or I didn't make these decisions, I didn't have to because people did, or if it was like, yeah, I knew this was gonna happen, I was informed, like whatever way, like as long as she owns her game, I think that will get a lot of respect from people. Um, the other three, there's a lot of resentment, and from the entire jury, and the last thing I ever want to do in these games is be bitter. That's the last thing I ever want to do. So I'm going to do my best not to. It is hard for me in the cases of Robert, Toria, and Evan. One, Victoria did not talk to me when I was messaging her a tiny bit before she got voted out, and then she said, "Everyone look out for Trevor. He's the puppet master." And I got voted out. She did not talk to me for the rest of the game. Um, essentially, I think there might have been a good morning. I think. Um, so it really was just like Robert running that show, and like so between Robert and Evan, it's hard for me to come to terms with voting for one of them because I had felt like there was personal relations uh, that transformed into game, but especially Evan, really, really cut me. So like that's where I'm asking myself, like, okay, well, was this like, were we actually cool, or was this just like you were doing this with everyone and that's your game, or is that, or do I not know who Evan really is kind of what I'm saying. That's kind of like that's how I feel in the case of Evan. So like I think at this point it would take a lot for me to actually write down to actually vote Evan. um I think he's probably on the bottom. Like honestly, I think Molly is like third. I know there's some instances where she really said something the wrong way or did something here and there, but in my head, like she's won so many comps and really went from being nominated every week to winning comps and being in control of the game that like I have to respect it at a certain point. Um, I think my head goes Rose 1. Ingrid Molly is close. I don't think Ingrid's gonna make it past 4. Um, and then Robert Toria, and then probably Evan last. Um, I've heard things from Crispy about his relationship with Robert, that I was like taken aback by. That yeah, it was just not great things I've heard about Robert using his social game to his advantage and stuff. So um, yeah, we'll have to see. I'm just like at this point just waiting to see who's at the end and then making my decision. Um, so yeah.
Gotcha. No, you have some great insights. I love just hearing like what is in your head. So you kind of touched base on this a little bit, and but I'm still gonna ask, what's one thing you would do differently? Or it could be a couple if if there was like a couple.
So I don't. There's a lot of things I think I could regret. Um, I will say this before I get into it. I don't regret how I played this season because I did things that I've never done before, and I probably won't ever do it again. Of trying to win all these comps, being voted as a comp threat, um, and um, playing just like I said, like balls to the wall, like playing so hard, so fast. Like I've never done that before. I'm like putting my foot on as I go. Was I think like, during the time it was so stressful. But looking back, like I'm glad I did it to play that kind of game. Um, in terms of what I regret, I think there are a couple pit stops where I could regretted it. I don't regret Grace playing it on me, especially with this information. Like Evan might have honestly wanted him gone first. I don't know if he would have gotten the votes because Schiffer only talked to me. Um, me and him were just talking about football and coaches. Um, I think I was like the only one he talked to. I think I don't know if I regret winning the second HOH because I did get Lorna out, but I think winning that HOH might have made me a bit of a threat. Uh, I no, I don't because I had no information. I needed information, and winning HOH got me a lot of information on what people are talking about and stuff. I don't regret that. I regret winning that veto. Um, because honestly, I would rather have just been for sure than have to deal with that entire 24 hours because that was just brutal for me emotionally. Um, yeah, I think that's the only thing I can regret because I won. I only won. I was a comper. I won like 3 comps, and one of them everyone timed out. I'm the only one that finished it. So, um, yeah, I think just the veto thing. But honestly, like Adam would have won. I would have gone up, and then me versus Ingrid. Mm, I'm. I might actually stay, but I don't know. I think I like I said, like week one, I knew it wasn't gonna win, so I was like, I'm just gonna play hard and see what happens. So I think long term it would have been better for me, but I just was, I'll try and see what happens. And most of the points I got was just from guessing correctly at 50-50. So
Yeah. No, you went out, did your thing, and look at you.
yeah,
You're still part of the jury. That's still a decent distance.
top
Um,
10. I had
what is
no
it?
business in the top. I had no business being in the top 10.
Oh, no, you
Yeah.
played your game. Um, and you're owning it, which is awesome. And then let me see, what was I gonna say? Another one we like to ask is if you could compare your game to any Pixar movie, what would it be and why?
Hmm. That is an interesting question. Well, I didn't play a great game, so I'm not gonna say Ratatouille. Hmm. I have one in mind, but I can. Mm, you know what? This is. I think I don't. I'm gonna say this answer, but I'm gonna say it. Say Toy Story 2. And the reason I'm gonna say Toy Story 2, because I feel like you get emotion out of Toy Story 2, where you are laughing at I mean take your pick, you're laughing at a lot of things. You're stressed when Zurg is chasing people and when they're going across the street with the cones and stuff. You're sad with the story. Um and then God, how's the movie? Oh, that's the movie. I was like, how did the movie end? I was like, I remember the plane scene. I don't remember how it was at the end. Yeah, just a roller coaster. And like at the end of the movie, you're like, I'm exhausted, but like that was fun. It was good. It was a good time. Um, yeah, a type of game again that I would try not to be nominated first. I can go back to my pedal strat, but like I said, it was good. It was fun to play. So I don't have that many regrets.
Oh, and and personal fave, love the Toy Story franchise. So as soon as you said Toy Story 2, I'm like, Woody couldn't go to cowboy camp, and that was the first movie I ever really cried at. So little fun fact there. So I get that there. So yeah, no, this has been great. Is there anything else you want to share, spill, discuss, like
Hmm. I
anything
don't
you want?
I don't think so. Um, I will say I said this in a voice message. I'm excited to see these people explore social games because they don't have any in my opinion. Big Brother is a social game, and if you make five people in the jury that are already in the jury feel like shit, you played a bad social game. So um, I'm super excited. This jury roundtable coming up is gonna be great. People are gonna be, especially if like it's like Evan the final two, which I see happening, or Robertoria, Molly. It's gonna be great. People are gonna be yelling. I'm gonna be lying down on the sand, listening to these people. But yeah, it's been an experience. And like I said when I was voted out, it was uh like I said when I was voted out, this was the first work from a long break I took, and I think I'm glad I played. I think I need a longer break. Um, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm glad I picked this game to see if I was ready. So I couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Well, as we like to say, welcome to the BB Disney family. We're definitely a fun group here.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, no, but I thank you for your time. I'm sorry that we had to have this interview as early as we did. But so glad you applied, came out and did your thing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So yeah, hopefully it was at least an entertaining game to watch. At least hopefully I made production happy with the way I played.
Oh, there were moments I was sitting there with popcorn just watching stuff unfold. So,
Perfect.
great stuff, great stuff. So, get this recorded.